Good afternoon and welcome to Ringer Sports Studio. Today is Wednesday, October the 9th. I'm Ringer Senior and I'm here solo again for today's video. Ringer Junior is still out at school. He would have posted his own video last night without me being present to talk about my individual picks as well as his. We're a father-son duo that likes to talk sports, major league sports, Major League Baseball, NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA. All things are looking to kick off here soon. It's a great time of year. Major League Baseball playoffs are full in effect right now, and really looking forward to seeing the outcomes as we approach the NL championships as well as the AL championships, and obviously into the World Series. Not to mention college football is kickstarting. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday slate, and NFL Thursday night football just around the corner as well. So lots to talk about, lots to share with you folks today on today's video. Quick recap of yesterday was not the greatest day at all. You can't be rolling each and every day. You're going to have some fallbacks and setbacks each and every day, as that is the situation as it relates to sports betting and also just doing analytics on each and every sport that is shared with us out there. So looking on the day yesterday, Ringer Junior finished the day at a 3-3 clip. I actually finished at a 1-2 clip. So we finished 4-5 on the day. So one less loss than win that we had. I had three really good plays that I thought would come through. I was looking at Phillies over 3.5. Sean Manaea came to pitch. He pitched an absolute gem against Philadelphia Phillies. I was expecting Phillies to get on the board and beat up on Manaea, which they've done a few times this year and during his career against Philadelphia. Manaea's done a really good job pitching this year. However, against Philly, it was tough. I figured to go over 3.5. That did not happen. I did manage to get over seven total runs combined, thanks to a late inning effort by Philly, putting in a couple runs, getting that up and over the total of 7. And then my other loss was Manaea under 1.5 walks. I knew he was going to pitch strikes, and he actually ended up hitting 2 batters early, and then ended up walking 2 in the same inning. In the 5th inning, he was rolling along through 4. Got into a little bit of trouble in the 5th, ended up walking 2. That one didn't come in, putting it at 1-2 for myself on the day. Good news is there wasn't any big 5% plays, which I'll talk to in a second on our insane and crazy run that we have for our 5% plays. Ringer Jr. finished at 3-3. He finished at 3-3. He had King under 1.5 earned runs and over 16.5 outs. King's coming off some really good outings his last little bit. They got to him in, I believe, the 3rd inning, where they put up 5 to make a 6, make the comeback. They put up 4. Mookie Betts hit a home run in the 1st, and they got a grand slam from Teoscar in the 3rd or 4th inning to make the game a 6-5 total. And interesting enough, San Diego scored 6 in one inning, and that was the final, 6-5. But King got knocked around in that specific inning, so those 2 ones did not come in. However, he did have San Diego first 5. He also had San Diego as a 4% play over 3.5 runs scored, which seems to be the case for San Diego. And then he had San Diego over 3.5. He had San Diego, and then he had two prop bets. He had a Rise over 1.5, hits, runs, and RBIs, and also Tatis over the same, over 1.5. Tatis got there with his home run, getting the hit, run, and RBI. And Tatis a Rise actually went 0-4 last night. Didn't really help the offense out last night, and wasn't able to get that one in. So not the greatest of days. Some good picks, some bad ones. That's the way it goes. However, today's a new day, and we got some big plays. It's not often that I put 2 5% plays out in one day, but I will tell you that we are on an absolute tear. 13-1 in our last 14, 5% recorded plays, absolutely on fire. The sole one loss was a last minute 5% play on the Tennessee football game, looking them to cover in the first half. They've been known to cover 75% of the time. It was a last minute 5% play that never did end up coming through. But we're sitting at 13-1 in our last 5% plays, and we're looking to cash on 2 of those 5% plays today, which I'll get to momentarily. Also have 4 other picks, all 3% plays that I will share with you as well. But I was just updating the stats totals and looking back since we started recording, or getting back to our recording at Ringer Sports Studio. at the start of the college season. We've been recording each and every week for the last 4 weeks or so. And I'm looking at a record here specifically. We're sitting at an 88-53 record for a 62.4% winning percentage, heavily driven by our 5% plays that are sitting at 14-3 over that 4 week period at an 82.4% clip, absolutely steamrolling our 5% plays. The 13-1 would be on our recorded plays, and the other 3 or 4 would be on just our Twitter plays that we share. So a whopping 82.4% on our 5% plays. And our 4% plays are sitting at 29-17 for a 63% clip, which is also really good from a handicapper perspective. And then our 3% plays are sitting at 46-41 for a total of 52.9%. So overall, we're sitting 62.4%. Actually, our 2% plays are not doing the greatest. I do have a couple of 2% plays in there as well that are actually under 25%. Most of those picks would be on the side of a couple of game parlays and things like that, which I would not encourage. Parlays are not for the long term. It's for more of a rush than anything else. So anyway, solid last 4.5 weeks, 62.4%, 88-53. All right, so jumping into our games today, we're going to kick things off in the early Detroit and Cleveland baseball game. Interesting matchup here. The pitchers have done an extremely good job here. We had one 5% play on Scooble's last outing. He pitched absolutely phenomenal, giving up no runs and able to squeak out that win with the 3-run shot in the 9th inning to give Detroit that win. But I'm looking at two things here in this specific game. I think Cobb's on the mound for Cleveland, and then we have Cobb on the mound for Cleveland, and we got Montero on the mound for Detroit. Both teams have really good bullpens and strong bullpens. I think the Detroit manager is planning to use a ton of relief pitchers. I think he said he had 12 out of 13 pitchers available today. I think they're going to go inning by inning and try and squeeze out this win in Detroit and take home another victory. So it should be a really interesting matchup. I like two parts of this game today. I like under 4 first 5. I think it's going to be a really low scoring affair. Again, I think both managers are going to be working their bullpens as early as they need to keep the scoring down. And it's kind of a must-win situation for those folks. So I anticipate a very low-scoring game, especially in the first 5. I'm going to take under 4 in the first 5. And I'm also taking the total game under 7 because I think once we get into the deeper innings, pressure is going to be on. The pitchers are going to be there to perform. And I do believe they will be able to keep this game really tight. I can't see this getting past a 3-2 type of game, 3-1, 3-2, somewhere around that. Even if it's 4-3, we'll take the push. Can't see either team getting 4. I think it's going to be a 3-1, 3-2 type of game. I don't have a lean on either side here. I think it'll be interesting to see which manager outmanages the other manager. I think that will be the outcome of today's game. So give me under 4 first 5 and under 7 total points for the game, and that is a 3% play for both of those. Shifting gears over to the other American League game, Kansas City and the Yankees. This series is all tied up at 1-1. I think it's the first time in a number of years where every series was tied at 1. We've got Seth Lugo at home here pitching against Clark Schmidt, and I think this game actually is going to be more of an offensive game. Lugo has actually done a pretty good job this year, as has Schmidt. However, I do believe we've got a couple of superstars, Judge and Bobby Witt, that haven't really done a whole lot in the series. I think both of them are probably going to break out today. I think they're both going to have an opportunity to get some hits, hit some runs in, with stealing some bases. And I do think this is going to be a relatively higher scoring affair. The over-under sitting at 8. I do think that Kansas City gets to Schmidt early. I do think the fans are going to be going nuts in Kansas City at home for the playoff game. And I also know that Lugo's had a couple of rough outings this year. He's done a pretty good job over his last number of games. He's only been able to get into the 4th last game against Baltimore. In a 2-1 game, obviously in the wild card. Previous to that, he pitched a couple innings against Atlanta, then 7, then 4, then 7. So you're really going to get a different type of Lugo. He gave up 4 runs 4 starts ago to Detroit. but he's been able to shut people out too. I don't think he's as good as his last few outings have been. And then if we turn the corner over to Schmidt, I think he's been giving up a lot of hits. 23 or 22 hits over his last kind of 5 starts. Has been successful to give up a few runs here and there as well. And I think Kansas City's offense, they do much better at home. They have more hits at home. They have more walks at home. Schmidt gave up 4 earned runs on his last outing in 4 innings against Pittsburgh. Gave up 3 before in 5 innings against Baltimore. Previous to that, he had 3 solid good outings. But I think his leash will be short here. I think he gives up 2 or 3 runs early, maybe 4 or 5 hits early, and they go to the bullpen somewhere around the 4th inning. And then, both these teams have very strong offenses. So give me over the total of 8, the Yankees in Kansas City, as a 3% play. All right, shifting gears before I jump into my 5% plays. I am looking at tonight's New Mexico and Jacksonville State football game, NCAA game, sitting on a Wednesday night. This Jacksonville State team puts up a ton of points. The over-under sitting at 60. Jacksonville State team total is at 38.5. It's already moved to 41, so a lot of sharp money's come in on the team total. 41. If it was sitting at 37 or 38, I'd really consider taking the team total for Jacksonville State. But getting into the 40s is a big number. It's 5 to 6 touchdowns to get over that number. They do run a high-powered offense, and they consistently are putting up points on the board and moving the ball very, very good. The New Mexico team is not good. They're getting blown out by a lot. Now, Jacksonville State's a 20.5-point favorite here at home. They're coming off a Friday night game. They have 4 days rest, quick turnaround, as I read earlier today. However, the New Mexico team is not that good. So I really think Jacksonville State has an opportunity to put up a ton of points here. I wouldn't be surprised if they get over their team total, which is a lot. They might have put up 45. I can't see New Mexico getting more than 20 points here and probably staying under 20. So as long as Jacksonville State can hit 40 points, I see this being as a 40 to 17 type game. Give me minus 20.5 Jacksonville State as a 3% play. All right, now you've been waiting. 5% plays. Got 2 of them. 2 5% plays. Remember, 13-1 in our last 14 5% plays. 14-3 on our non-video type plays for our 5% plays, and I'm giving you 2 tonight. Now, one is relatively juiced, the other one not too bad, but I'm looking at the San Diego Padres in the Dodgers game here again. The San Diego offense is absolutely off the charts. They've been scoring runs at will. They've been over this total that I'm looking at 3.5. 11 of their last 15 games have gone over 3.5 runs. They're putting up a ton of offense. They put up 6 runs yesterday, albeit there was an error by Freeman at first base that opened it up and opened the floodgates up, but they put up 6 in 1 inning. They're getting runs early. This offense is stout from top to bottom. Pressure's on the Dodgers right now. I cannot see them holding them to under 3.5 runs. I think San Diego may get a run early on, put the pressure on the Dodgers. I see this one going, and I see them getting at least 5, if not 6 runs again today. I think it's a huge opportunity to win the series out today, and give me over San Diego 3.5 runs scored as a 5% play. Looking to go to 14-1 on this one specifically. All right, moving to my next one. This is going back to the Kansas City Royals and the New York Yankees game, and looking at Schmidt, the pitcher for the Yankees, and looking at a prop bet here. As I mentioned earlier, Kansas City hits the ball at home. They get on base. They score runs. I think Bobby Witt's going to break out with 2 or 3 hits. I think this game himself. Schmidt, I'm looking at his over 3.5 hits in his start. Now, this could be questionable if he gets in trouble early and gives up 2 or 3 hits and leaves the bases loaded or walks a couple and decide to go to the bullpen. But I think they're going to give him at least 3 innings here, and I think, if not 4 innings, I think they can get a hit or 2 per inning or close to that. They could even do it in 1 inning with the offense that Kansas City has. So I really like this one. 5% play. Schmidt over 3.5 hits. If I look at his stats, he's given up 23 hits in his last 5 outings. Overall, and that works out to be an average of 4.6 hits per outing over his last 5, which puts us almost a hit over the expected total at 3.5. So I'm going to go ahead and take that 5% play over Schmidt, 3.5 hits in the Yankees Kansas City game. There you have it. There's our picks. Quick recap. We've got Kansas City and the Yankees over 8 total runs. We've got Cleveland and Detroit under 4 first 5 and under 7 full game. We've got Jacksonville State minus 20.5 tonight in college football. And then jumping to our 2-5% plays, we've got San Diego over 3.5 runs. And we've got Schmidt giving up 3.5 hits or more in today's Yankees-Royals game. Please like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel if you enjoy it. If you haven't checked us out, please do so. 13-1 on our 5% plays. That's where it's at. We're looking to go to 15-1 after tonight. Let's hope that they cash in. Like them, cash them. Check us out at Twitter at CollinRing12 or at Ringers Sports Studio. And have yourself a wonderful Wednesday night.